my brother, my uncle, my auntie, they're all going mad. The man on the street, everyone I meet, the whole wide world's going mad. The whole fucking world's going mad, mad, so mad. The tinker, the tailor, the soldier, the sailor, the rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief, man on the street, everyone I meet, the whole wide world's going mad. The whole wide world's going mad, so mad. The whole wide world's going mad. The whole fucking world's going mad. My brother, my uncle, my auntie, they're all going mad. Man on the street, everyone I meet, the whole wide world's going mad. The whole wide world's going mad. The whole wide world's going mad. The whole fucking world's going mad. Mad, 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 mad.
Heard the Addicts there with The Whole World's Gone Mad. You're listening to the Punk Rock Demonstration. I'm Jack. Last week I accidentally put the previous week's show to broadcast, so you didn't hear last week's show. It was a repeat of the previous week's show, unfortunately, because I made a typo. I'll make sure I don't make that same typo this week, so that way you'll hear the current show, which our show is here every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time, and it repeats on Tuesdays from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Last week's show you'll be able to find on the website, punkrockdemo.com, and also through the Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast system you use. The podcast is available on the website. So that show never broadcasted, unfortunately, but it lives on the downloads. Can't fix the past, so let's continue with some more punk rock here in the Punk Rock Demonstration. I want to continue with some Tres Marias now. This song's called Money Talks. This sort of describes my 401k lately. Just disappearing and stock market going down, everything just disappearing. So, yes, very appropriate song. Hopefully it's just temporary.
Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Bills travel through the mail at twice the speed of checks. My money only says goodbye. Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Bills travel through the mail at twice the speed of checks. My money only says goodbye. I like to slave away. million twice the speed of chicks. My money only says goodbye. Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Money talks, mine only says goodbye. Bills travel through the million twice the speed of chicks. My money only says goodbye. My money only says goodbye. My money only says goodbye. compliance. We followed the family guide. We worked the careers they'd chosen for us. Raised a family exactly of 5. So we were shocked when we received papers, violations inside. Together we read that we must report to the Office of Family Design. And we knew that wasn't a very good sign. We spent the next week in a state of confusion, just wondering what we'd done wrong. We chalked it all up to a clerical error and promised each other that we would be strong. Appointment day, we dressed in silence. The ride they promised arrived. We were left on the steps of a windowless building, the Office of Family Design. Doors opened and a voice said, "We thank you for being on time." Through bright sterile lights, we saw sex-assigned hallways, each marked with a pink or a blue line. We heard the Autogen voice say, "There's no need to worry. This will be a common corrective rewind. After the 5-minute process, you won't have violations. You'll be free to move on with your lives." With a future this bright, I smiled at my wife for what I didn't know would be the last time. We were shocked when we received papers, violations inside. Together we read that we must report to the Office of Family Design. And we knew that wasn't a very good sign.
That was the Freeze there with Office of Family Design, and some Ramoms with Rockaway Beach, Ailments with Turpentine before Ramoms, and the Pegs with Nature Wants Us Dead. Hope you're enjoying the show. Spring is here, flowers are growing, pollen is everywhere, and getting allergies all the time with annoying spring-related problems. Can't wait until summer, where it's nice and hot, and the pollen has simmered down and the allergies aren't so bad. Can't win. It's either too hot, too cold, or some other miscellaneous issues. Guess it gives variety. Let's continue with some more variety with Hale Bopp Astronauts. This song's called Big Bucks.
Here we go. Got another really make it. Gonna get you position should be naked at my ease. Come on, baby, take it on, now don't be a tease. Yeah! Squeeze me, please. Squeeze and tease. Squeeze me, please.
Heard some Skullduggery there with Ride Like the Wind, and Imperial Leather with Picking Scabs before Skullduggery, Nimwits with Sleaze Me Please before Imperial Leather, and some Planet Smashers with What's Going Down, and Crashed Out with In the City before Planet Smashers. You can find all the playlists for all these shows by going to punkrockdemo.com. Again, that's punkrockdemo.com. You can also download the old shows and listen to the old shows on the website, punkrockdemo.com. Send in your requests, send in some songs of your band, send in your band's information. Maybe we'll feature it on the website. Check out some punk rock related stuff. Check out my 21st century punk rock documentaries. Plenty of punk rock stuff on there. punkrockdemo.com. You can also listen to other radio shows 24 hours a day on the same website, punkrockdemo.com. Let's continue with the GAC now. The song's called Never Say Never.
Same suits and trousers now, who will be trying to keep? In times of famine, the devil eats flies, and the moral of the story is a little slit here, a little stitch there, a little tuck under the lid. When a little rumor flies, does it ever tell lies? Now who will we try to keep? No, I won't be there all the time. No, I won't be around. No, won't be there all the time. Never, 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 never say never. Differences, the same old faces now. Who are you trying to kid? In times of famine, the devil eats flies, and the moral of the story is, because you're wearing a uniform, you know exactly how it is. When a little rumor flies, does it ever tell lies? Now who will we try to keep? No, I won't be there all the time. No, I won't be around. No, I won't be there all the time. Never, 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 never say never. Marching at the back of every last conflict, there's a word called jealousy. It's the root of all evil. It doesn't have a boundary. You can switch it off your TV. You can see it every day all around you. Who are you trying to keep? Standing in the trenches, head held high. Now who will we trying to keep? No, I won't be there all the time. No, I won't be around. No, I won't be there all the time. Never, 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 never say never. Wishing to my love into overdrive. Just a peak, now I pay the price. When she's hot, well damn she's hot. Electric love like Sandra Dee. You should have seen her dance. Come on and dance. Come on and dance. Fast and slick, well she's cool and clean. In a pack of sheets, she's a Levantine. She's on top, but she can't be stopped. Watch her scream, watch her suck you clean.
Heard Tsunami Bots with robots improving robots. I was fiddling with the AI the other day, trying to AI my images and make them turn into cartoons or something. Interesting stuff there. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be all there yet, because one of the pictures I inputted was like a sidewalk curb, and somehow it turned the sidewalk curb into like a 3-lane road or something. Very interesting. I've never seen a 3-lane road before, but I guess AI can do that. It was very bizarre. Definitely needs a little bit of improvement. Monster Squad was before the Tsunami Bots. That song's called A Nightmare to Consume. Heard Crumb Bums with In Sickness We Prevail, and Streetwalking Cheetahs with Come On and Dance, featuring B-Movie Rats from Motley Crue. Let's continue with some more punk rock and play some new music very shortly. Let's continue with We Found a Map. This song's called Animality.
And even if my boat is rocking, I'll be sure to set a course straight. knocking his door. You were watering Plumeria. Must have been midnight. The stars in the sky, they were shining brightly. You were looking at my surprise, my surprise. As you disappeared, when I saw you with your daughters, you were laughing at some video, playful in the front room, wrestling in the garden hose. A couple dozen sun lamps, they reflected off your raven's hair. But I guess that's when I knew that you were never there. I knew, I knew you were never there. Yeah, you were never there. Oh, you were never there.
Some Mesa Lanes there with Plumeria, and the Undead with Social Reason, Pansy Division before Undead with Work On It, Babe, and the TV Dead with Degrassi. They talked to the TV Dead and asked them what that song was all about, and it turned out to be a sitcom of like this high school named Degrassi in Canada. Interesting stuff. Never watched that TV show, but it sounds interesting. Maybe I'll check it out when I've run out of things to watch, which will probably be never, because I don't really watch stuff. Other than newest sitcom I'm up to is probably The Golden Girls or something. That time period seems to be almost the best sitcoms. I think the ones a little bit before that were a little better. Golden Girls was probably one of the last sitcoms that I think were decent. After that, it was kind of too much stupid funny going on. But anything with Betty White in it is good, just not as good as the pre-80s stuff. Anyways, let's continue with some more punk rock with Bad English. The song's called Lousy and Loud.
We get so pissed off every day. We live for punk, it's the only way. We're having a life, we're having a say. There is no other way life for me. There is no other way life, you see. There is no other way life for me. There is no other way life, you see. You see us coming our way. We're the folks, we're here to stay. I've seen it's the only way. I've seen there's a way life for me. I've seen there's a way life, you see. I've seen there's a way life for me. I've seen there's a way life, you see. I'm lousy, I'm loud, I'm obscene, and I'm proud. I'm lousy, I'm proud, I'm obscene, and I'm loud. We get so pissed off every day. We live for punk, it's the only way. We're having a laugh, we're having a say. There is no other way life for me. Oh no, there is no other way life, you see. There is no other way life for me. Oh no, there is no other way life, you see. Keep it lousy and loud. Keep it obscene, not clean. Oi! One man's decision forgot to bring the rain. Brought a storm to the world for some profit and gain. Took your voice away. What could you possibly see? I'm on the docks waiting for the ships to come in. I look beyond the shore to see the earth meet the heavens. But they'll meet again. They'll become one in the end. To make a living, do we have to live in this prison? I sold my soul to the team that was winning. If the tables must turn, won't be alone if I burn. Does the sun determine our fate? Are we as free as it's betrayed? Don't pull the wool over my eyes. What's true? What's lies? revelation. A new life has already begun. A new breed will rise with victory in their eyes. Now I'm on the dock waiting for the ships to come, and I look beyond the shore to see the earth meet the heavens. But they'll meet again, they'll become one in the end. Does the sun in the tunnel not fade? Are we as free as it's betrayed? Don't pull the wool over my eyes. What's true? What's lies? A shame in world's disguise. Maritime tragedies making angels out of men. Maritime tragedies makes angels out of men. Hey! 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 I still see the swallow. Whoa, 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 whoa. I said whoa, 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 Is this the end? Or just another failed attempt? The air feels like it's being ripped out of my chest. Is this my life? Or just a moment waiting to die? And endless catacombs are hidden inside. I've seen so many faces. You wear disguise, nowhere to hide. I've seen so many faces. You wear disguise, nowhere to hide. No glimpse of the future, no rest for my eyes. Sandpaper mouth, I can't taste the thing, keep me alive. Let me forget, let me get a drink. Nothing up here can fix, you'll never change me. I see so many faces. You wear disguise, nowhere to hide. I see so many faces. You wear disguise, nowhere to hide. here and no can do. Don't call us and we'll call you. The doors are tired, always, but the roads are tight. The roads, but feel I'm treated like shit, 'cause I ain't got nowhere to get. I just wanna fight back. Fuck this and screw that. One chance, one life. Sick of feeling dead when I should feel alive. Sick of life with no meaning. Sick of life with no reason. Sign of times on my head, kid, I don't get the message. I look at life, there's nothing there, there's nothing else. You what I got, we'll not put the fuck back. We're programmed to do that. I just wanna fight back. Fuck this and screw that. One chance, one life. Sick of feeling dead when I should feel alive. Sick of life with no meaning. Sick of life with no reason. Sick of life with no meaning. Jesus, find me a reason. With all this hate, I know I won't survive. Survive, survive. Dead, dead, already half dead. A chip on my shoulder, you're guilt in my head. One chance, one life. Sick of feeling dead when I should feel alive. Sick of life with no meaning. Sick of life with no reason. One chance, one life. One chance, one life. One chance, one life. One chance, one life. One life tonight.
You might be crazy, but I'm insane. And all the hell you put me through, to my life, your pain. So pathetic, so insecure. I feel like a disease and there is no cure. You never saw it coming, my anger pointed at you. You said I had no feelings, well, I had them once for you. Torn down, beat up, neglected and abused. I won't take this anymore, I will destroy you. I'll destroy you, 'cause I'm a wrecking ball. And when I'm done and you've lost your fun, I'll scrape you off the wall. Build you up and tear you down. And I won't have no more fun when you're not around. You never saw it coming, the anger pointed at you. You said I had no feelings, I had them once for you. Torn down, beat up, neglected and abused. I won't take this anymore, I will destroy you. Yeah, torn down, beat up, neglected and abused. I won't take this anymore, I will destroy you.
That was Firecracker 500 with Destroy You, and Critic Kill with One Chance before Firecracker 500, Lower Class Brats with Tune the Heart before Critic Kill, and some Informal Society with Faces before Lower Class Brats, and the Briggs with Maritime Tragedies. Haven't played that song in a while. Still listening to the punk rock demonstration? I've got one more segment of music before I play some new music. Remember, you can contribute by sending music if you're a band by going to punkrockdemo.com. I'm going to continue now with Muvalia. This song's called Wasteland.
Little Wayne's hooking down on 19th and Ball. Street lights illuminating hell. The angels cry like sirens from the damned. Echo through a wasteland.
face. Gimme, take, oh, what's the promises break? Down there you get burned on every corner that you turn. It's all a step in the back, what you know but wish you never had. Friendly justice become a shy, on our way out of Snake Town. Surrounded two faces in the crowd. Get out of Snake Town. We only built you up to break you down, yeah. You know she never had. Friendly just become a shy, on her way out of Snake Town. Surrounded two faces in the crowd. Get out of Snake Town. We only built you up to break you down. On her way out of Snake Town. Surrounded two faces in the crowd. Get out of Snake Town. We only built you up to break you down. Build you up to break you down. We only build you up to break you down. We only build you up to break you down. We only build you up to break you down.
Her Generators there with Snake Town. Unfortunately, the singer has passed away. No more new Generators stuff. Very sad. Emmy Pop before the Generators with Tebusk. Double Fisted with Drunk All the Time before Emmy Pop. Dog's Flesh with March of the Damned before Double Fisted, and some Bad Reaction with I Live in Hollywood. You can find all the playlists for all these shows by going to punkrockdemo.com. Someone asked me where they can find the playlist, and that's where you can find it. punkrockdemo.com, click on archive, and find the show number. This one is 994 or April 7th, 2025. All the shows are labeled with the date and numbers. Right now I'm going to continue with some more punk rock, new punk rock after the Yum Yums. The song is called Can't Get Enough of Your Lovin'.
Sweet love, that's all I'm thinking of. Don't wanna spend a
Simon the Elder, a fugitive, pleaded asylum. Terminal thoughts, out of focus, nowhere to run, trying to warn us. Still machines in space, walls of confinement, jury duty. Analysis, curiosity, resignation, insanity. Simon the Elder was Dr. Adams' assistant. Rock of memories filled with emptiness, voice of time and darkness. Still machines in space, walls of confinement, jury duty. Analysis, curiosity, resignation, insanity.
shield your eyes. You better shield your eyes.
You said you couldn't help yourself, you can't deny what's up in the sky. You used to say it was a lie, but now the truth you can't deny.
A book decides your life, and I can hardly place the proper comma.
some new Open Flames there with UK Trains, Elephant March before Open Flames with Coast to Coast, and some Murder Circle with Under the Lath was before Elephant March, and some new Zebulon Adger with Simon Van Gelder. That song was based off of the 9th episode of this original Star Trek Dagger of the Mind episode. Haven't watched Star Trek in forever. Was never really a big fan. But yes, that was a song based off of that episode. And with that, hope you enjoyed the show here called Punk Rock Demonstration. We'll be back again next week on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific time for a new show, and that show will repeat on Tuesday from 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to end off with this last song by Matthew Heller. This song's called Reagan, and I'll talk to all next week. Thanks for listening.
Me and my Reagan, we have the best of times. Zapping the ocean, melting the skylines. The skylines. Get me out of my life. Derelict cars go by, they drive me oh so high. Ghost Rider, please rewrite my biography.
brought you to me. And soon you'll see everything. A kiss goodbye forever is all you need. It comes from me to set you free. My kind of love kills so slow. I take the flesh, he takes the soul. Yes, I am everything that no man wants to be. All the things that shatter every dream. I am a broken God, you see. I am. My kind of love kills so slow. I'll take the places you don't know. Yes, I am. I am. Down here in the basement, they made me a child in the dark. No one ever came to save me. The toys down here cry louder than you scream. Now you'll be forever with me. My kind of love kills so slow. I will never let you go. Yes, I am everything that no man wants to be. All the things that shatter every dream. I am the broken God, you see. I am. My kind of love kills them slow. I take them places they don't know. Yes, I am. I am. I hate because I hate. I hate because I am.